You got it.
Hey guys, I'm Michael Laicini. I'm the director of Antrum, the deadliest film ever made.
This is David Amito, director of Antrum, and you're fucking with the G.U.T.S podcast.
Hey!
Hey, yeah, man. Appreciate
our life. You know, there's some horror goons.
I'm Zano the Busy.
Your boy ATX and Space Viking. Trying to figure shit out. This changed my life forever. Yes.
Hey! Welcome to G.U.T.S Podcast. It's Zano the Vision.
Space Viking.
Low key as me drip too hard.
Out the way. Hey,
Shut the fuck up.
Say it to Lutway.
Man, that shit will get in your fucking head.
Yeah.
Like a decease.
You don't even know it. It's just they play it so much.
I like to say decease.
Yeah, man. Oh shit, it's going down.
Next we're going playing.
I know, right?
Anyways, what's up? Hey, people at home.
What's
up,
up?
motherfuckers? We
Driving in your car.
We got the new Houston Roughnecks on the thing.
Touching
Watching
yourself.
Roughnecks. Man, that's a
Touching
wild ass
ourselves.
name, man.
Shout out to all the ladies right now pulling out that vibrator.
Nothing but wave caps and dirty brassieres over here.
Ooh, dusty wave caps.
Nothing but wave
Make
caps
sure you
and
clean your Murrays out your head this
Holy
morning.
Holy
Alright, enough with the
shizzle.
dumb shit. What's
What's
up,
up?
motherfuckers?
What's up, people at home?
Hell yeah.
What
We got
up?
another dope ass episode, man.
Yeah.
Dope interview.
The Antrum boys.
Yeah.
Antrum boys.
Yeah.
Burning up the horror world, right?
Yeah, man.
Shout out to David and Michael who created Antrum. David and Amito.
Fuck yeah, man.
They created Antrum.
Them boys put
I
out
hope
a
I said his
nice.
last name right, but yeah, shout out to David and Michael. They created Antrum, which is the movie that kills you.
I know, right?
Doing it big for indie horror.
Yes.
We got a dope interview with them.
Controversial movie in the horror world.
Yeah.
Controversial.
It's one
You
of the
either love
ones,
it or
man.
hate it.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that I loved it because we normally don't like movies that aren't just like radical in your face gore, but
Yeah, definitely. But
I like the fact that
they put they twist on it.
Yeah, I bought into that gimmick, man.
Yeah.
Their gimmick is great. It's like,
Because if you, I ain't gonna lie, if you walk in and not knowing what it is, you're like, man, what year is this? You know what I'm saying? That's how, and that's dope when you think about that.
but it's the movie that kills you.
Yeah.
And they played it out to the end.
Yeah, had the
and so-
LSD popcorn thing
Yeah.
going on.
It's dope. So
Fucking fire.
Stay tuned for the dope interview with those brothers.
Yes.
And last night we saw Fantasy Island,
Oh my God.
which I like to call
Shit in a bag.
Man, let's. You know what's crazy about Fantasy Island? The start of it. I'm like, oh shit, it's going down. The girl getting chased through the house, and she get drugged from under the desk. I'm like, man, this finna be one of. This finna be.
it could have been dope,
It's
man.
finna be. I had a Taken vibe for some reason. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh shit, it's about to get. You know, people go to this island and get lost. You know what I'm saying? That's what I was thinking. Like, oh shit, it's
Well, have you ever seen the original Fantasy Island?
yeah. Well, it's
See,
like
I never
it's like a
saw it.
TV show though.
Yeah.
It was a TV show with a little person, a Hawaiian little person, and that's about it.
The plane.
Yeah,
The
what,
plane.
like the 70s or something?
Yeah, I think so.
I never saw it.
I
But
know-
shout out to my boy Elliot Crawford,
It
man.
was before my
that boy
time.
that boy got nicknamed Tattoo by his grandmother because that's what he used to say when he was little all the time. She nicknamed him Tattoo.
Damn.
Shout out to my boy, man.
Like I know I'm familiar with the pop culture references because it's
Yeah.
been spoofed and gimmicked.
it had a Killer King theme song too, like it was one
Like
of the ones.
iconic theme
Yeah.
songs that
Yeah.
you've heard clips of and versions of a million times before. You just don't know it. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
it was before our time. The only reason I've seen it because of my stepdad used to watch it on the.
Yeah, that's one of the
The
ones.
old
If you was
school
at
TV
your
shit.
grandmother's house, yeah, you watching that.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I never saw it, but so it starts out like it could have been dope, but it was like,
Let's just
you
get
know what
into-
I felt like I was watching? Okay, first of all, I just go say
Let's
this.
talk
I
about-
hate to like sit and like bitch and complain about a movie because I just feel like a little bitch doing
Yeah, I'm
that.
like, I'm
It's
gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch
yeah.
it to the end to
Like,
see
I-
where it's going.
Like, this movie really, like I don't want to. I hate doing that kind of shit because I feel like a little bitch. It's like, oh, my life is so hard. I watch a movie. Like fuck it, it's a movie. Big deal.
Yeah,
It
watch
sucks.
it.
It sucks. But this one fucking sucks. So it. I just felt like I was watching like an after school special.
Yeah.
And it just made me think, like, man, movies nowadays fucking suck, dude.
It seemed like, well,
Indie horror is where it's at, bro.
At least
Yeah.
75% of big budget horror sucks.
Yeah, they really had a chance though to really make it like, because I'm thinking Fantasy Island. When I saw the previews, I'm like, oh shit, it's gonna be like you think about something that's gonna bring the most horrific thing and happen to your life.
Yeah.
But it's like you get to pick and choose your fantasy, and it's kind of like, and it's with a twist. But it's like,
I felt like very made for TV after school special.
Well,
Yeah.
it's kind of perfect, like to put Antrum and this movie in the same, and Fantasy Island in the same episode, because it's like it shows the difference between big budget horror and indie horror, what's
Yeah.
happening now.
Kent can't say Antrum. He always says Antrum.
Is it Antrum or Atrum?
Antrum.
that must be his
A-N-T-R-U-M.
safe word when he's tied up.
I've never said it before, so
Kent say Antrum.
beat me, bitch.
Beat me. Yeah, but man, it started. What was the guy? I forgot the main guy that was in there. And once you start seeing him, it's kind of like,
There was no tattoo in there?
nah,
Yeah.
it was, but it wasn't. It was at the. We got to get to
Well,
that.
they gave it to him at the end, the
Yeah.
nickname. Spoiler. But yeah, it's the Asian dude, and they,
Yeah, he kept on saying his nickname, and he's like, he
'Cause he
kept on
has
calling him T.
because he has tattooed on his
Yeah, he
chest.
said, I got the lamest tattoo on the thing. He showed him, and it said tattoo.
It could have been like, so when they had the doctor, what was it, Doctor?
Feel good.
No, Doctor Murder or whatever,
Dr. Rourke.
Doctor Psycho, some shit. That
Oh, you
character
talking about
could've been dope.
the guy that
doctor
came
had
into-
had the sewed face.
She said Dr.
Dr. Dick Strong.
That shit could have been dope when he was like torturing the
Yeah.
high school bullies.
Because that was the girl doctor she went to as a kid because she was getting bullied and
Yeah.
shit. And they called it Dr. Torture, I think.
Dr.
it was.
Torture. I
Yeah.
thought, okay, when I saw Dr. Torture, I was like, hell yeah, it's about to fucking go
Yeah, 'cause
down.
that boy raised down his mask. His shit was sewed up.
This is what she does. She's like, I wanted the fantasy of killing all my high school bullies.
Not
And then,
killing
like,
one of them, that one chick.
Oh yeah, killing this high school bully. So all of a sudden, the chick is in a torture chair.
Yeah.
The chick that bullied her, and she's like, "No, I don't want this." Like instantly.
But no, it was
It's
like
let
first
her
she
get
first
fucked up a little
she
bit.
thought it was the hologram. Then she started shocking her. She started throwing water on her.
And I was like, okay, here we go.
Oh, like, it's
here we
getting
go.
good.
And then all of a sudden, like, the girl doesn't even get hurt, and she's like, wait, no, stop
But
it.
no, what happened was they brought it into like the millennial shit. It showed her Facebook page. She showed a video of her like having a affair with this other guy. And then it showed it going to her Facebook page, and she hit another button, and it showed her posting it on her Facebook page.
Oh yeah, the torture was she was showing her high school bully
Yeah, man.
her posting on Facebook her cheating on her husband.
Yeah, and her husband on Facebook, and it popped up on his computer.
In a lame sex scene too. PG-13 fucking sucks.
Yeah,
in
man.
horror.
We starting to be real firm believers. When they say PG-13, beware, folks, because it's not gonna really give you.
But
what you
like
want.
this
Waste
one
of money.
Well,
You
this
should
one
say
comment I
waste of
saw on one of some review was like, man, if this is where horror is going, leave the genre altogether. And
that
I was
was
like,
kinda,
damn,
yeah,
dog.
that was kind of slapping.
But
in
it's
the face.
not. And this is what. So in the movie, they say this in the movie. Horror is supposed to move you. We watch horror. They say that in
Yeah.
the movie, and it's like, then move us,
Yeah,
bitch.
the chick says it. Yeah.
Horror is supposed to move you. That's why we watch horror movies or some bullshit. I'm like,
Yeah, so
but
one
you
of
didn't
the
move me
they
at all.
had like four people on the island. One dude that came with his brother, which was the Asian guy. He kind of brought his brother into his fantasy. This one lady had a fantasy, which hers was like, you crazy. You could have kind of went through yours. It was like her husband want to remarry her again, but then she looked up and it was like 5 years later, and she like, why he looks older? And she like, well, it's 5 years later. And then it showed a kid. She like, well, shit, I don't remember having this kid.
There was so much happening,
Yeah.
but none of it seemed. There was all this supposed to be intense shit happening, but none of it felt intense.
Yeah.
None of it felt scary. I didn't care about any of it. It just fucking was whack. I was like, dude, I'm watching like a fucking Lifetime.
Yeah, because
movie.
it's like you gotta play your fantasy
It was
out.
like a Lifetime drama.
But the
It was a Hallmark movie.
the brother's fantasy was like he wanted to be around all these chicks. So he was like, well, your fantasy starts now, and he brought him to this pool area where it was just like the lavish like pool party happening and shit. Blonde, bikinis everywhere, and it was like, oh shit, how long this is gonna last? Then it ended up being like he was at this drug lord's house, and they supposedly killed him or some shit. And his guys was coming in to take over. Hey, it was a shit show, man.
Yeah, I personally felt like it was a piece of dog.
It was a shit show.
We're gonna have to stop going to. Gonna have to stop covering these big budget movies.
They suck, dude.
But what they doing is, and I'm thinking a lot of people are doing like, hey, going to the people who has part in this. Like, let me just buy your name. If I could buy your name and post it as a movie, I'm getting people gonna come.
Yeah.
Well, so what do you think about the big budget that makes it shitty? I guess that there's too many hands
That's
in
exactly
the wheel.
what it is.
Yeah.
It's too many what are they called? Like executives and shit, and
Yeah.
producers, and like 5 executive producers. Which an executive producer is just someone that put up the money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They'll be like, yeah, I'll give you $500,000.
What Shockwave's podcast was or Ryan Turek, the guy that does Shockwave's podcast.
Uh-huh.
He's a Blumhouse guy.
Uh-huh.
He was one of the executive producers.
But I'm thinking what
Way
it
to
is.
drop the ball there, fucko.
Yeah.
What it is too is like, and you make it
No
PG,
shit,
you make it
dog. You fucked
PG-13.
up.
It's like, okay, I could grab an audience like 13-year-olds could come and pay for the movie themselves and watch it. And which is gonna happen with a lot of PG-13 movies.
Yeah.
So if it's not rated R, you don't need no parental guidance on it. It's like, oh yeah, you can watch Fantasy Island.
But Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark was PG-13. It was
Yeah, but it was
fucking lit.
actually, they stuck to the book. It's not like they was like, man, the story didn't happen.
Yeah.
Because in Fantasy Island, you're like, what the hell is going on? Like,
Well,
That's another.
why
the
remake it?
The advantage that Scary Stories had was the imagery, man. That was people. Not only did people remember that from the book,
they stuck
those
to the
weird
script.
pictures,
Yeah.
but the people that never seen the book, those weird pictures. There's a reason that book was big. It was because of the weird.
Beat off to it every day.
They stuck to. But what they should have did with
I can only read half because the pages were stuck together.
what they should have did with Fantasy Island was when you first went. If they would have had Tattoo just ready for you on the island, you'd have been like, oh yeah, I'm into this. Here come the little midget guy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Here come the small guy. You're like, oh shit, I can relate to him. But it's like the whole time you're like, man, where the hell is Tattoo at? You waiting for
They
it,
should have done it R
man? Yeah.
off the rip.
Yeah,
If
man.
they would have done it R,
It would've been-
They could have
it
made
would've been
it
nice.
fucking lit.
That's
Good.
what makes me think it was a big money grab. Because
Yeah.
if they do PG-13 is a whole different.
Yeah, you
demographic
bringing
that you
everybody
get
in.
Money with,
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
let's see how much it made.
Probably didn't make shit.
Shit.
You know,
People
and that's
rush.
the thing is these the movies that they think they're doing money grabs. You know,
Fantasy
once
Island.
the word
Ooh,
gets out,
9% Rotten Tomatoes.
Damn.
9% on Rotten Tomatoes.
From the critics, 46% from the audience.
Wow.
Jesus Christ.
Which is like, dude, come on.
The audience
bad.
is
Y'all
nuts.
gave that 46%, but y'all gave The New Grudge 16%.
Yeah, no shit, dog.
Y'all tripping, man.
Yeah, they really on some other shit. But they Rotten Tomatoes at 9%. They are accurate with that.
Here's
man.
some of the reviews. Blumhouse's theatrical adaptation of the TV classic Fantasy Island never quite works as a horror film, a comedy, or a melodrama,
Wow.
despite its attempts at being all three. I think that's a pretty accurate
Yeah.
saying of it.
Yeah.
The biggest shock of this new movie reimagination is that it makes the original seem fresh and smart by comparison.
Damn. Damn.
Who wrote that?
Chris Bumbray from Joe Blow's Movie Emporium.
Oh shit.
Right on.
Shout out to Chris
Shout out to
No.
Chris.
and Joe Blow.
Keeping
Oh,
it
shit.
gangsta.
Yeah.
So what did it? I don't know where it says what it made, but
It's probably gonna come out. It's probably gonna come out Monday.
yeah.
They go through the weekend, I think, just to see what.
And
Yeah.
but that's the thing with these money grab movies that we think are
See-
money grabs. Once the word gets out, dude, you got like 2 days before people's
Yeah,
like,
man.
oh, I saw that. Don't go see it. It ain't worth the
Yeah.
shit. You know?
Oh yeah, look at the audience reviews. I love the fact that it had a twist to it. Great Job, spelled Jobe. Blumhouse Productions. She wants to blow all the guys at
Yeah,
Blumhouse.
but that's probably somebody from Blumhouse.
Yep.
No shit.
They're
There
like,
you
hey,
go.
get on there and write reviews, man, please.
Bad acting, non-believable plot, unrealistic special effects.
Wow,
Jesus. How do you get unrealistic special effects
Yeah.
in 2020?
man.
Yeah, here
you
goes.
wouldn't
Amazing
believe.
trailer, absolutely awful movie. Should have asked for a refund.
Damn, I almost thought about it to go outside and be like, man, it's hot in there.
Oh yeah, and then some kid comes up to me with like an electrical device
They were
right
yeah.
after the movie. Hey, you want to review this? And I just go, and kept walking.
But what I'm thinking, like, when did they start doing that? I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Terrible movie. Don't waste your money. It was all over the place.
Wow.
Couldn't take the main dude serious at all. Kind of hard to follow, but okay, I guess. No, yeah. So, anyways, that's.
Seems like an all-around failure.
Hey man,
You tried.
It
and
wasn't
you
for us.
Failed.
It
You know,
wasn't.
Like.
And the one with the guy with the he wanted to be like an army guy, and he went into the war. Then he ended up finding his dad. His dad, like, man, it was a shit
Yeah,
show.
bro. That's what. So that was the part particularly that very felt.
Yeah, because the dude
after
run up
schools-
on him.
after
You're not
school-
American.
After school, specially.
Yeah,
After
man.
school special. My dad.
Yeah. He's like, why you got him on name tags? He's like, oh, well, you died in Brasilia. And Brazil or something. He's like, we're going there tomorrow. He's like, how did I die? Well, you jumped on a grenade to save your platoon or some shit. And he's like, man, it was...
God
Yeah.
damn,
God.
they go from that to that.
Man,
Dude.
it was all over the place. And then they end up hearing all these things going off, and they end up going into the fantasy with the guys that was at the mansion with the pool party and shit.
Yeah.
It's like, how did
Damn.
y'all end up over here, man? Like, what the hell is
Yeah.
going on?
And
More going on than waxwork.
yeah, and it was like Fantasy Island, but you're I don't know, dude. Like, and yeah, so fuck it. It sucks.
Yeah, it wasn't it. And then the lady who had the best fantasy, I think, on that, she was having a family. It's like, I don't want a new fantasy. So he gave her a wish. She goes into this burning ass building. It ended up being the dude that he gets killed, and that's how the plot, I guess, they think twists. Because
Yeah.
the connection was the guy who killed knew everybody there or some shit.
Yeah, the guy that got killed in a burning fire had a connection with everyone on the island.
Yeah, so that's why they all were there.
And so you thought they were there because this girl was childhood bullied, and she brought everyone there, but she brought everyone there because they all had a hand in her dude dying in a burnt fire. And
Yeah.
I want to shout out Indie Horror for keeping it fucking gangster.
Yeah, man.
And keeping it real, dude.
Because indie horror don't have no limitations. They're like, hey, don't do
Man.
this, don't do that. So they
Yeah.
could just go
They
raw
don't
with
have
it.
all them executive producers.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Shout out to the homeboys David and Michael who did Antrum.
Yes,
keeping
man.
it real for fucking
Yes,
indie horror.
man.
Trying to keep it spooky, trying to be creative.
Not letting nobody change their ideas. That's what the main reason
Like,
focus is.
Fucking creativity. I'm starting to think, man, like what happened to all the, you know what, we came home last night and RoboCop was on.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck, dude, what happened to dope ass shit like this? Like,
It's like
it was
people
just
not
dope.
thinking, man. It's like they afraid to make, because what it is, everybody's trying to build up these new characters to like sell merchandise. So that's what I'm thinking. Like, oh, if I make this character good, I'm gonna sell a bunch of shit for Halloween, or everybody's gonna want to be this guy or
They
be
just
this
need
girl.
one thing out of the movie to pop. and
Yes,
viral.
man. And people like, oh, I remember
Probably
that.
what they do is they put so much shit in the movie just to have one thing pop and go viral. You know
Hey
what I'm
man,
saying?
it could have been the most
just
like, to me personally, like if it have brought any kind of horror to it, to where it's like something that frightened you as a kid was chasing you on that island.
That
would've
doctor
been dope.
character was creepy. He had like his mouth sewn
Yeah.
shut. And it
it's
kind of
still
looked like a
creepy.
Hellraiser. Oh, I was like,
That's
dude,
what I'm saying.
this is
It
gonna
could
be awesome.
it could have been her part was the doctor. The
Yeah.
lady could have had something that scared her in her childhood. The brothers could have had the same thing, but it was just
He looked like this jacked up zombie. He was all
Yeah.
cranked up on roids.
Oh,
it could have
shit.
been a fucking dope character.
it,
you
it
know?
just didn't do it, man.
No,
It didn't
so,
get
anyways,
creepy vibes. So definitely,
I
we
think
want
we're
to put the
beating a dead
guts
horse.
factor on that.
oh yeah,
Keep us off our phone factor.
keep
No.
us off our phone. No, we were on the phone. So I would say 60% we were on the phone.
Yeah.
Off
the rip.
factor.
It had an off the rip
Yeah,
because of
it
the
started
chick.
off dope.
The chick getting kidnapped. I'm like, okay, I'm in.
Here we go.
I'm in
Creepy / scary vibes? No.
No.
None.
at all,
no,
man.
No, none at all. Kills? None.
None.
Well, there was, I guess, a couple, but you can't, I don't know, PG-13.
Yeah, you couldn't really get too
And
gory with
ending,
it.
super dumb.
Yeah, it just
So-
didn't make sense. They had like a Jason's ending with the dude jumping out the water, dragging old girl back in. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, they tripping. And the dude
Right.
didn't want to let his wife go. It's such a, oh my god, it's a shit show, man.
Yeah. So,
was
does
not impressed.
yeah. Does that bring us to fuckery?
Pissed off.
Fuckery.
Yes, man. Take us to the fuckery,
Take
please.
us to somewhere, a happy place.
Fuckery. Fuckery.
fuckery. This week on fuckery, Helen Keller versus Nightwolves.
Yeah.
So
This
fucking
nuts.
movie was wild, dude.
Yeah, dog.
Fucking, it starts off. It starts off so funny with like a preview for a romance novel for men, and it says "fucking." More fucking this, that, and this guy comes in. Hi, the guy that made the movie. He's fucking hilarious. He has an eye patch on. His name is St. James, and it's I'm St. James. This is the story of Helen Keller versus the Nightwolves. And he's got a like smoking a pipe type vibe, and it cuts to fucking Lynn Shay, who's from the old chick from Insidious, who's like a classic scream queen. She was in Nightmare on Elm Street. Like,
Yeah.
she's in everything.
was
Lynn
dope.
Shay, we love her.
I like
was
the way she talked to her grandkids.
She was in The Final Wish, but she's in every horror thing. But Lynn Shay, she's like got scratches on her eyes, and she's Helen Keller, and she's talking into her grandkids. Like they're reading Braille, and then she takes their hands and talks into their fingertips, like the fingers can hear her. And she tells the story about how the Nightwolves attacked her fucking family, and then she had to train like a fucking ninja warrior to go fight the Nightwolves.
Jesus.
And she goes, it's so fucking funny. And then like at the end, they're like, what's the difference between Helen Keller and a tater tot? The tater tot has a much bigger dick. Oh.
Christ.
And I like when she was trying to find the pie. And the
She goes into this fucking 60s diner. She's like trying to find pie, and she's just like touching everything. And they're like, let her figure it out. And it's fucking ridiculous. Super funny to me. I can't believe I just said super funny.
Yeah, you did.
Sounds fucking
Super happy fun land.
corny.
You must want to
super
go.
funny, guys. Is that super funny? So anyways, Helen Keller versus the Nightwolves on Amazon Prime.
Good shit.
Good shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I don't understand how you find them. So how many good ones do you go? How many bad ones do you go through till you find a good one? 1 out of 5? 1 out of 10?
Well, I don't know. That's a hard question to answer because it's like they're all fucking horrible.
Sorry, I asked it.
You know.
Shoes of the week.
Shoes of the week.
Hey, this is Zane on the Vision, the Shoes of the Week, brought to you by Active Athlete off of Cullen and Horn Clark. Nice kicks off the drag in Austin. Bing! And our big brother stole the arena. Buy, sell, and trade at the arena. Bing! So what we got today, man, these came out All-Star weekend yesterday. They fucking killed everybody. The Off-White Jordan 5s.
Oh.
Fucking sick ass shoe. So what's crazy,
The tongue comes up.
they say it's the
kneecap.
Virgin Abloh added a second Jordan silhouette to his Series Night collection with the Jordan 5 Retro Off-White Black. So they came out yesterday, and it came out with February 15th. I think they were like $225. As you can see right now on StockX, $985.
$5.
The bid right now is $1,000. So what happened was, if you're in Chicago, or if you got them on Nice Kicks, on night and Fire Kicks on Fire and Sneakers app, if you got them, man, I'm telling you now, hold on to them, hold them for a while, resell them. Because I think the huge release in stores was only in Chicago, man. They had a lot of shoes to drop yesterday, but they were only released in Chicago, so a lot of stores didn't get them. I actually saw Spike Lee with them on yesterday, which is pretty dope. Dope ass shoe. It got the 23 edition on the side, of course, and as you can see, it looks like they kept it the same. They got the Nike OG original Nike at the back, the bubblegum bottom, the shark elephant print on the side. Dope ass number 5 shoe, Off-White. Man, this is a clean,
Sexy looking pair of
this
kicks
is a
there.
clean ass shoe, man. And I think this is a size 10.5 right now that's staying $985. So I can imagine. And what's crazy, I think the bigger the shoe is higher and the smaller the shoe is higher, which is weird. So if you wear like a 7, you might be paying like $1,500 for these.
Because it's all odd shit, It's all the hard to get.
The hard to get shoes. and they only came out in Chicago, and they didn't come out like it wasn't a worldwide release. It was only online. So I'm pretty sure a lot of people woke up early with their hands on the trigger, ready to get these things. But if you got them and you got more than one pair, multiple pairs, hold on to them because this shit is finna go crazy.
Was anyone wearing them at the All-Star game?
I saw Spike Lee had them on.
Oh yeah.
You know he gonna have them on, of course.
Yeah.
He's the OG.
See that motherfucker at the Oscars?
He's the OG. Oh yeah.
God damn.
He's the OG of Jordan commercials. So of course they gonna let Spike Lee he get his first choice of anything really. But badass shoe, dope ass shoe to have in your collection. It's gonna be a rarity of them. But if you got them, rock them. Throw these hoes on, and any of our fans have them, send a picture of you wearing them, man, and we'll post you on Shoes of the Week.
Oh fuck yeah!
Yeah, that's how it's going on. I'm Zano, and I'm out.
Woo!
Yeah.
So now it's time for
Conspiracy.
True crime conspiracy theories with Low Key as me.
Hello, I'm Low-Key as me. Good to see you out there in the World Wide Web. How are we doing this morning?
Conspiracy.
The traffic is crazy on the 205. Be careful out there. It's icy on the streets. I hope you brought your jacket.
Oh, I'm burning.
15 past the hour, and I am Low-Key as me. And I got one question for you, Space Viking.
Talk about it.
Do you think we went to the moon?
Yes.
Wrong!
It's
Let me tell
footprints
you
on
one
the moon.
thing. If you think we went to the moon, you've been duped by the American government, and you're fucking wrong. 1969.
Here it goes.
We had a dream.
69.
We had a dream.
69 dudes.
And there was a small battle going against two titans in the world, the Russians and the Americans. And the one way to win it, the Americans had to put a man on the moon, and we were going to do it whether we shot that motherfucker up there or we got Stanley Kubrick to fucking fake it.
Shout out to my
And that's
uncle.
exactly what happened.
No shit.
Fucking right.
Stanley Kubrick, the
was
GOAT.
the only person that could do it at that time because he only had the skills. He's the only person with the skills and the knowledge to pull something like that off. So they went into the desert and they went into Hollywood, California, and they went into Nevada and they faked the moon landing. They put these rovers out there. And if you look, here's the evidence. You want evidence? Is that what you're asking? Well, fuck you. Here's the evidence.
Oh.
Okay? There's a thing halfway between here and the moon called the Van Allen radiation belt.
Hey.
Nothing can get past the Van Allen radiation belt because it's a thick belt of radiation. One, the ship would be destroyed. Two, the people would die in the Van Allen radiation belt. And three, even if they did make it through, there's no way they can communicate back and forth through the Van Allen
Talking like they on
belt.
a payphone.
You can't send radio waves through it. It's impossible. So even if they did make it up there,
Who's Van Allen?
he was this dude. He was a pimp back in Chicago in the 20s.
All right. I'm with it.
He'd take off his belt and beat them hoes, so they'd be radiation.
Like Pootie Tang.
Yeah. He was the 1920s Pootie Tang.
Right on.
Yeah. So even if they did make it to the moon, they couldn't talk to him back and forth. If you look at the feet of the rover when they landed, they're completely clean.
Huh.
How the fuck did that rover land with no dust kicked up?
No shit.
Yeah.
How did it land and underneath it looks perfectly pristine? There was no jetpack. There was no jet things, right? If you look at the pictures, there's 3 sources of light. You're on the moon. There's no source of light. It's only one, the sun. That's it. And there's light coming, there's lighting in a fucking
studio gangsters.
Wow.
Wow is right.
So we never went to the moon.
We never went to the moon. So
Did the Russians?
5 years
So no
ago,
one's ever been to the moon?
No one's ever been to the moon.
No one's ever been past the Pootie Tank radiation belt?
No. We're lucky to get into orbit with these cocksuckers. Anyway, so 4 years ago, NASA was asked, why don't we go back to the moon? And they say we lost the technology. How did you just lose the technology? And then they say all the power that's in an iPhone is more power than all of the technology that it was to send a man to the moon.
That's crazy.
And we haven't sent one in 30 years.
Wow.
Get the fuck out of here.
That's insane.
And Stanley Kubrick hides little things in the movie.
Yeah.
So he purposely changed the room number in the movie to the number of
What movie?
In The Shining. He purposely changed. He was adamant about changing the room numbers because it was the flight path number of that mission.
Conspiracy.
Oh shit!
If you look at Danny's shirt, it says Apollo with the flight number and a space shuttle.
Yeah.
If you look at the patterns in the things,
So Stanley Kubrick's giving a fuck you to everybody.
he's telling us, hey man, I did it.
That's
Damn.
fucking gangster, dude.
That's fucking
Shout out to
wild.
The Shining, dude.
Fucking
Oh,
right.
shit.
Stanley
all,
Kubrick.
all The Shining has two meanings. It's the story, but inside the story is the telling of the biggest conspiracy theory ever to fool the American public.
Conspiracy. Conspiracy.
And that was True Crime Conspiracy Theories with Loki as me.
Question everything, folks.
That was fucking dope, dude.
Yeah, man.
And he tied it to fucking The Shining.
Fucking right.
Well done, sir.
Yeah.
Well done.
So now we give you
I ain't out here
big.
for nothing.
yeah.
Who's
So
the big bad Antrum?
Yeah, the Antrum fellas.
shout out to
Yeah.
David Amito and Michael Laicini. I hope I'm not butchering your names.
Go see the movie, man.
Yeah.
After you watch this, go watch their movie.
What
It's
we
worth
found
your
it
time.
at?
Yeah, can you edit that part out and say, here's David and Michael who created Antrum.
Yeah.
The deadliest movie ever
I'm
made.
Zano the Vision,
Space Viking.
Go watch the movie. I'm low-key as me.
and we're out.
Hello.
David.
Hey, David, what's up?
Yo, how you guys doing?
Yo.
Welcome to Guts Podcast, man.
Yeah. Thanks so much for having me, guys.
Oh yeah, no doubt, man.
Hey, yeah, thank you so much, man,
appreciate you.
for coming to talk about Antrum. We loved it.
Oh, that's awesome. That's great. With Antrum, we've noticed that some people really fucking love it or really fucking hate it. So we're kind of happy to have that kind of divide, and happy you're on the positive side of things.
Well, I think that's what you want too, right?
Yeah.
Because I'd rather have people love it or hate it than it just that means that it was different and it was unique.
Right.
Because
Totally.
it's not. That's one of the first things that I loved about it, y'all. I hate the same old shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
definitely.
y'all took it a totally dope way. I loved the the movie that kills you kind of theme, and you started off with it was dope. I was dope as
You
fuck.
started off, do you really want to watch it or not?
Yeah, like
Like 24 hours, I'm like, oh shit, I feel my heart beating
yeah,
different.
because it
That's
starts
awesome.
off with, yeah,
That's
like
really cool.
with the documentary. And then it plays and then all of a sudden it's like, now here is that movie, and you're kind of like, oh shit.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, right, exactly. That's totally how we wanted it to play, and I think my favorite part about watching it with an audience is when that disclaimer comes up on the screen and there's this 30-second countdown. Immediately people start laughing. You can tell the tension in the room just kind of starts building, and that's basically why we made the film, just to... I think a great deal of the horror occurs in the imaginations of the people that watch it, and that's just that's so exciting, because the richer your imagination, the more this movie will kind of mess you up or play with you and that kind of thing.
Oh yeah,
No doubt.
definitely a mind fuck.
Yeah, well, and then it starts off with that creepy ass music, man. Who made that music?
Yeah, so the music, it's a super talented artist named Alicia Fricker. I think Alicia Fricker Music is her Instagram handle, and she's crazy talented, and she's one of the most creative people that I've ever met. And when we were actually dating at the time when we started working on it, and a lot of the kind of creative aspects of her in the movie as well, with the with some of the artwork as well, and her influence is a lot in the film, and she's very creative, and yeah, she's super talented, and we were so happy to have her score, and we worked on it together. It's also kind of based a bit on a Eastern European folk song.
Okay.
So at the beginning, I was noticing is it like a puppeteer going on, or what? Because I was trying to figure it out. I'm like, man, they were kind of reminding me of of damn, I can't forget the name. I want to say like the make believe. I forgot the show that I was watching. I saw the puppeteer. I'm like, well, damn, is that? Did he have to build that set? Is that a smaller set, or is that really like hand puppets? Or I was trying to figure it out. I was like, I can't wait to ask him to see how they kind of broke that down. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that squirrel puppet actually has become a surprising star. A lot of people talk about that squirrel puppet, especially festival programmers. Some of them said that we were programmed because of that squirrel. So we had, in like researching this film, we kind of wanted to look for like other films that kind of came across as like cursed, or kind of held some kind of ethereal quality that we just kind of were like, we'd love to borrow from these like older 70s films to imbue our film with that same cursed quality. And one of the films we watched was this old Russian version of Alice in Wonderland. And it's all stop motion. And so me and Mike, who's the other director of the film, and we both made the film together, Mike Laicini, we basically said, we should definitely incorporate some of this like stop motion feeling, especially like right in the middle of the movie, so that it's kind of like they have like this is happening now, just kind of to make people constantly lose their footing. That's kind of was our attempt. It
definitely, like for us personally, but for me too, like seeing it, I'm like, man, what year was this filmed? You know what I'm saying? Because like the way you captivated, it was like. It was perfect because it reminded me because I like Blair Witch, so when I was watching it, I was like, well, damn, I guess we're getting to see like a Blair Witch type, the people actually like in it instead of just watching the camera just go crazy.
Yeah, right. Well, I'm glad you picked up on that. Yeah, the squirrel itself is like, it's amazing design, who's designed by my present girlfriend, who's also a very talented artist. This movie seems like it was just made by all my girlfriends.
Boy's a player!
Hey, Pimp Hand is strong, baby.
I see the Pimp Hand is strong with you, David.
But she's super, super talented. Her name is Kate. She has an Instagram, Kate Monig, and she basically, we talked about it, and it was a sculpture that she made out of clay, and then we covered that with what's it called? With rabbit fur. We couldn't find squirrel fur, so we covered it with rabbit fur. And so it's stop motion in the beginning, but she built it with a head that could move. And as you know, its expression is like, it has this creepy ass expression that's kind of innocent and cute, but at the same time, like malevolent.
Yeah, that squirrel likes to fucking party.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, totally.
That definitely draws you into like, oh yeah, this shit is about to be real.
Well, what I liked about it was
right on
so like when the kids are digging and they're going like into deeper, layers of hell or whatever, and like it's a slow unravel of a mind fuck. You know what I mean? Because it's like the first couple, levels, like the old school dude's about to kill himself and shit.
Yeah.
And then and then all of a sudden you get to where they go for a little walk, and then you pull up on a dude banging a dead deer or something. And I was like, holy shit! Like, because and it basically told you all about those characters that you needed to know. Like, these are some fucking psychos.
Yeah, you about to see them.
Yeah, right. Anything goes with those guys, totally.
Yeah, and then like, to me, I just thought like that was such a dope way, a creative way of shocking you without having to, show them like a crazy rape scene or, it's just like, you see a motherfucker fucking a dead deer, they're fucked up.
Yeah, totally. And we deliberately shot it from a distance too. So it's not like in your face. It's the kind of thing where if you aren't looking at it, you won't really notice it. But if you do look at it and your brain kind of processes what's occurring, then it kind of dawns on you slowly like, oh my God, that's like fucked up. But it's not.
That's exactly how it hit me, bro.
It hit exactly
awesome.
like that.
Yeah, that's how it hit me. And I was like, because you just hear him going, ugh. And then I looked and I was like, holy shit. Like, this is
awesome.
Some raw shit.
Yeah.
That's great.
And
Well, I love that you guys are picking up on a lot of the things that we intended,
yeah.
because that's not always the case.
Yeah, we definitely like when we watch a movie, especially the first time. It's kind of like viewing your area you just moved into. So we kind of like scanning over everything. So we pick it like something that he'll see, I won't see, or vice versa, and we'll kind of like pick up on it and be like, "Hey, man, you just see what I saw?" And we're like, "Hell yeah, I saw that shit." Like it was. And then we start realizing,
awesome.
like, oh, they cooking somebody in that kettle pot
Yeah,
with the goat.
dude.
I'm like, oh shit, they cannibals, man.
Yeah, you throw you throw in some bestiality and a person getting burnt in a devil thing. It's a win for the Guts boys. You know what I'm
man.
saying?
Well, I'm honored. Thank you.
Fuck yeah,
Yeah.
man.
And then another thing that I loved about that you did is you never gave up on. Like this, instead of like it ending, when the film ends, when Antrum itself ends, it could have just ended. But then you go back to the documentary,
Yeah, it
like
comes back up.
still saying, like, now these are the images we showed you. I don't know, was it 300 something times? And then
Yeah, right.
instead of just ending it and like kind of like, oh well, I guess you didn't die, gimmick's over. You kept on with it, and it leaves you like. Thinking like your brain wants to play that little game with you, like shit.
yeah.
Am I gonna die in a couple hours?
Yeah, right.
You know.
Well, I mean,
I
the
better
power
put this
of
coke
belief.
down.
The power of belief is like something like that story about the Arnett people, the Aboriginal tribe in Australia that's featured at the end of the doc there. That's a true story. These people believe so strongly that if a medicine man, if their shaman points a bone at them, that in 24 hours they will die. And there are responses that they become catatonic and they do die just because of the belief alone. And I think that, that's a true thing. So your belief, which is a character in this film as well, is going to play with you. Do we intend for you to die? No, we don't intend for you to die, but it is something that we hoped to inspire thought about, and various other like contents that are in the film, just to inspire that kind of question.
Because I know a lot of people probably watch it and be like, you know what, I'm not finna go through with it. I'm gonna just let it tell me that, and then try to read the news later to see if a couple people actually committed suicide or something.
I like that you said that.
Right.
Your belief is a character in the movie. That's fucking dope, dude.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I think that's we loved it. It was different. You know, we sit here and watch horror movies all day long. And my buddy, my homie from Chicago, shout out Black Gustavo from Chicago, he hit me up and he was like, "Say, bro," he goes, "Hey, this movie's got you Guts boys all over it.
Yeah.
Check out this ad for this movie."
Yeah.
And he sent it to us, and I was like, "Yo, what the fuck is this?"
Yeah.
And so we
Awesome.
we watched it, and that's when I instantly hit you up, and I was like, "Hey, bro, we got to talk to this guy." So, man, big shout out. The movie was fucking dope. How did you when did you come up with the idea for that? You know what I mean? Was that just something you always wanted to do, or did it just kind of come to you?
No, it just kind of came to us. I've been working with Michael Laicini, the other director, for a while, and we had done 2 short films. We had started a small festival in Toronto for films that were rejected from TIFF. We called the festival Stiffed. And the logo was the CN Tower with 2 film reels underneath, so we plastered Toronto with basically a giant dick.
Fuck yeah!
In order to, because we always like you guys, I think you really champion the independent spirit,
no
especially
doubt.
independent horror, and like that's exactly what we believe in as well. It's like if you don't have the means, if you don't have this, you just got to figure out a way to do it and make it. And so when the film came around, we were talking about doing after we finished an online series, and we had failed to develop that into a film at the time. We decided to work on a different film of a different scale. And when we started that, I was sitting down and I was thinking what would really scare me. And I'm just naturally a very superstitious person. And if someone was to tell me something that I wouldn't really believe, I'd be like, okay, but if I was to hear it like twice, I'd like immediately be a believer. And if someone is to tell me that you're about to watch a cursed film, part of me, no matter how rational I am, would believe it. And this is the kind of film that would scare me. So I mentioned this to Mike, and he was all over it. And he reminded me that like a few years before, he showed me a video clip on YouTube that was it was like a clip that it itself seems cursed. And you get this feeling like you're watching this like illicit thing. So our partnership has been so like intertwined with each other for years before this film that it's hard to say where any of our ideas come from. So my idea was inspired by his idea, which could have been inspired by one of my ideas, which was maybe inspired by one of his. So it's kind of this like hodgepodge of stuff. So I'd say that me and Mike kind of just came up with it from years of just working together.
That's badass,
And
man.
that's how we look at stuff too. We always think about that while watching movies. Like, what would generally like make you frightened? You know what I'm saying? Like, what would take you out of your element of like, oh, this is just another movie. But as the characters, like when you get into with the characters, how it's like you never get tired of them. Like, you know, sometimes you like, man, I hope they die, but you kind of like, damn, I feel bad for like the kid, and then it turns into another feeling like, man, I feel bad for his sister because she's like got to take care of her brother also while going through her own emotions also, and it's just putting them together in the woods just made it like they each seeing different things, they each having different feelings, but it's all coming from the book that she summoned, and it's like, wow, just the whole. To put it together like that was just awesome.
The idea of the book that she made up becoming real.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like our story within a story.
Yes.
Where it's kind of there's a theme of belief that kind of goes throughout the whole film. That's what kind of connects the documentary and to the main movie, and also what connects you to the characters. Like, we normally have this like empathy with the characters on screen, and that makes us feel for them, but we kind of were like, well, what would it be like if we also involved you, the viewer, as a character in this film? And the stakes are just as high for you too. How would people like experience watching a movie like that, where you're breaking the fourth wall and threatening their lives in the process? It was kind of an experiment. Like, we didn't really know. We didn't know what we would pull off. And this is kind of what we made, and we're pretty proud of it. And it's like it's just amazing to hear people like you guys just really digging it.
We did.
Well, right off the bat, I knew it was different, which I love, and creative. The another thing that really kind of got me to buy in, just got me to like, holy shit. That is, so the kid, they go put their dog down, and the mom says, no, that was a bad dog. He's going to hell. Like, that is one of the most fucked up things you could say to a kid after putting his dog down.
Because he bit him.
And I love it, dude, because
that's exactly right. Yeah, he bit him. So the mom is just reacting to her anger at the dog.
Yes.
That's totally true.
She's not looking at, and I noticed like when they was digging the dirt and they had the strings, they had like every piece of different religion. Had the Buddha, they had the crescent, they had the cross, and that kind of made, me looking deep into it. I was like, well, that's letting you know that it's evil and all around us, basically, And they started like, and when she was talking through the book, it was kind of like it give you didn't leave nobody untouched, basically. You know what I'm saying? It's like, so you kind of like, oh, well, dang, it didn't put a religion on them, but it kind of like, hey, I'm gonna put all these in the dirt. So if you notice it, you can see each person. So you definitely can relate to each one that they had in the dirt when they was digging. I was like, man, that's pretty.
My bro here is Muslim, and I'm Irish. My bro here is Muslim, and I'm Irish Catholic. So we were like, oh yeah, we're both fucked.
And I was like, man, that's so cool for And it just draws you into like you say, because it's like it wasn't a moment that when we were both watching that we didn't feel like we were. You know, you could be a part. You become a part of a movie if you watch anything really. And it's like we was on that journey with them, because when they start like seeing the different demonic characters come around, and how you made it just be like a visual of, is it really happening or is it not happening? Like, you know, she was telling the brother, you're not really understanding what's happening, but he was really like, hey, I saw it. You didn't see it, but I saw it. And then she have a moment where I saw this. So it really takes your mind like places, and I love that about it though.
Oh, right on. Yeah, that's a really good way of putting it. I mean, like, these people are all, did they see it or not see it, but then it leads them to act in certain ways.
Yeah.
And those actions that even a fictitious thing that you believe in can lead to like real actions which have consequences. And you know, I almost think like if someone was so scared of this film that they took like measures to keep themselves safe, like I don't know, it could be in the process of them trying to make themselves safe that they in the end create their own harm.
Yeah.
You know, it's belief and superstition and fear. It's all kind of a freaky thing if you allow it to take over.
And I was noticing too when the girl when she shot the guy, and then she went to the car and there was two people in the truck. I was trying to figure, because I kind of was like, okay, did they get put in there? I was trying to think, was that somebody they caught? Because I know they was just bringing people, the two cannibals kept bringing people to their little compound and cooking people. And I was just like, you know, it was just wild, because I'm like, damn. And she kind of felt like, damn, did I just shoot them? Did I shoot this other guy? It was, yeah, man. It was one of the ones, it's like a trip. It's a trippy trip, man.
Yeah, right on. Yeah, she's very disoriented in that scene, and we're disoriented with her. Like, what exactly occurred there with, like, at the end there in the truck. This was like definitely a deliberate choice. The fact that it's also spliced with this like illicit stuff,
yeah, I know, right?
Also confuses things.
That's awesome, man. So, what do you? Are you gonna like? Please tell us you're gonna make another movie.
We're actually working right now on a series.
Nice.
I can't say much more about it at present, just because it's a little bit early.
Sure.
To start running my mouth, but yeah, we've been working on this series for a while, and it's kind of a bigger story world. It's definitely a lot less meta. I think after doing this meta stuff, and like I also was in a meta film like before that where I like play myself in a fictionalized version. It's becoming a little bit too confusing for my own reality. So we're kind of going to more traditional storytelling stuff. But the concept of stuff is it is in the horror realm.
Woo!
Yeah. We're really excited about it.
Have you been a horror fan like your whole life, like us?
Yeah, you know, Mike, who you should definitely interview. If you can get a hold of him, you should interview him as well, because he is like just a pantheon of information when it comes to horror and how crazy he is about it. For me, like, we mutually kind of met over a love of film. I love the like 70s Omen, Rosemary's Baby, kind of The Exorcist, those kind of like horror movies, and more recent ones like Japanese Ringu, obviously,
sure.
The Ring. Lately, Ari Aster's stuff I think is just is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So I come from it from a very much like, I guess, 70s horror is what kind of gets me. A little Dario Argento as well. So that's kind of where I come from. But Mike is like the primary, like, he has breathed horror since he was a child, like you guys. So
you definitely get that 70s vibe, man, when you watch it. It's like,
I loved that about it.
Right on.
Not to make this,
because it had that Halloween Rosemary vibe on it. So.
Not to make this about me hour, but me and my mom, those are Rosemary's Baby and The Omen and shit. That's what I watched with my mom growing up.
Oh yeah.
My mom's
awesome.
a big horror head, so like I got that vibe. And especially I like how that special and the movie was shot on 35 millimeter stock, like all the films were in the 70s. And then and I'm still thinking, oh, this is just going to be a documentary type thing. And then it plays the movie,
man.
And then start off, and then the creepy music plays, and then it kind of is like off at first, and then it gets back in, and it's like, man. That's what the type of shit that we love, dude. You know, we spend hours and hours and hours watching shitty films to get to movies like this.
Awesome.
That you know what I'm saying? Like that are different. Like
what was the movie? What did y'all do most of the filming, and how long did it actually all take to come together?
So we had the idea in like April of 2014.
Nice.
And started writing it right away. So we came up with a script that we could use probably around September. We cast, then we started shooting in December. So the photography of the forest stuff happened December, January. But then there was we had to do pickups, and then the film that we made after that first cut, we were just like, okay, this is an idea of it, but this doesn't hit. It's like doesn't have the right note. It's like it's kind of the pacing is weird. It needed basically revision after revision, and we would constantly kind of like play with things. We'd be like, ooh, like this can be inverted. We can add like these colors here. We can add all these kind of things. So we kind of was like an ongoing work of art that was officially completed in 2018. So this is 4 years where we're just like constantly trying to perfect this thing on a meager budget. And towards the end, it was pretty much just me, Mike, and a few people we would commission to come on. So it took a while.
Yeah.
But it looks like it paid off because you guys are picking up on details, which I'm impressed that you guys are picking up on.
Oh yeah, man. We
rented it.
Man.
I've already seen it 3 times.
Yeah, we be on it, man.
Wow.
We actually like you say, we'll watch it the first time, and then like the second time you watch it, you kind of look other places, not at the characters, and then the third time you kind of put it together and look at everything, so you'll never miss. Because like me personally, when I first watched the movie, I watched the whole scenery, like the background of it, the character, what they're doing. The next time I watch it, I kind of focus on one character, and the next time it's the next character. Then at the end, it's all of them together. So I can kind of figure out how the movie's going or how y'all filmed it. I try to break it down like that. Well,
I just like to watch fucked up shit.
While also getting that vibe of like, this shit is wild.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, it's amazing you guys can, sit through it so many times, because also the beginning was a slow burn. And we figured that would be closer to the, period, in that it's not everything is as snappy as a YouTube video. And also we figured we want to open up people's imaginations, leave them with more questions than any answers. So you don't even really, it's kind of testing a traditional narrative where you, like in Jaws, you'd see the monster, and then the next scene you're introduced to the hero and the complications about the hero. So we kind of wanted to displace the audience and being like, I'm not watching a conventional narrative, so now it's less safe was our intention. And but it can be it definitely tests your patience if you want things to be snappy and scary right away.
Well, you had me at LSD popcorn.
I know, right?
That'll
this guy got arrested. I'm like, we're in.
Because honestly, David, I'm a fucking moron. I don't even know what narrative means, but I like to watch fucked up shit. And
right on.
You put the damn you got ladies getting film festivals getting murked. You got an LSD employee at the movies. I was like, fuck yeah. Let's fucking go!
I'm like, lock the doors and let's watch, man.
Oh, right on. There's an unnamed footage festival. That's the name of it in San Francisco. And as you know, there's a scene in San Francisco where there's the final deadly event occurred where the popcorn was laced with LSD. And so she had this inspired idea for every person that comes to watch the film to just hand out popcorn. So everyone is sitting there. They're getting this free popcorn. It was I think it was handed out by someone who was acting just a little bit off, not rude, but just like off and giving popcorn to everyone. So as the movie begins, and it gets to the documentary portion, and it says the popcorn is spiked with LSD, there was this collective like kind of freeze from everyone. Like people had the popcorn like mid-air as it's going in their mouth.
Like, shit.
Yeah, and that's like, we're so excited because there's a bunch of different people too now that are doing like their own screenings of Antrum, and they're doing their own kind of, you know, Rocky Horror Picture Show or The Room kind of treatment to it, where they're you know, making it scary in their own way, which is like that's exactly what it's all about. We love people contributing to the myth, to the lore of it, and it's happening online too. People would have something happen to them after watching the film, like their microwave explodes. They write about it. Other people read it, and they're like, "Shit, maybe the two are connected." And that's exciting.
No, I love that, and it makes it. It makes like knuckleheads like us feel a part of something.
Yeah,
you know what I
man.
mean? Like it makes us feel like, oh shit, we're, you know, like you said, our belief is the character in the movie. I love that you said that. Again, man, we loved it. You're you know, we love indie horror. You know, obviously we're indie horror podcast, so you are a champion of indie horror, man.
Guys.
We really
so
we're definitely looking forward to what you got coming, man.
No doubt. You got some fans for life for sure.
Cool.
Thanks for coming on the show.
I'm very touched. Thank you so much for having me, and thank you for watching the film so much and promoting it like you have. We'll let you know everything that we have coming up. You guys will be amongst the first to know.
Would love to. You know, next project you have, would love to get you back on, man. Because
man.
I just like how your fucked up brain works.
Right on. Well, again, like I just have to reiterate that half of Antrum is Michael Laicini. He's super talented director.
Yeah, we got to get him on also, man.
Hello, this is Michael.
Hey,
what's up,
Michael? What's up?
Hey guys, thanks for having me on the show.
Welcome to
Thanks
Good
for
Podcast,
coming on,
man.
dude.
So I've heard you guys have seen Antrum multiple times.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we love that shit, man. It's fucking awesome. So do you David told us that you were like an OG old school horror head, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have like a collection of like 1,000 movies downstairs, and half of them are old horror movies. I feel like I've seen everything. I often like sit down with my wife on like a Friday night. We want to watch a horror movie, and it's like we've seen everything. It's frustrating.
Are you a VHS guy or are you a Blu-ray guy?
You know, I can't deny I love Blu-ray. I love watching like old movies that I haven't seen since I've watched on VHS again. It's kind of like seeing them for the first time. But I love, you know.
Yeah.
I miss being like a kid and walking through like the video store and having that like curtain that separated all the frightening movies from the regular movies, and then walking past all that weird artwork that used to be on the cover of VHS to kind of dupe you into renting a bad movie.
Yeah. Definitely get you, man.
Yeah, do they have you grew up in Canada, right?
Yeah, I'm born in Toronto and still on the outskirts of Toronto, yeah.
So they had Blockbuster out there, didn't they?
We had Blockbuster, and now the buzzards have come and picked it clean because they've all closed up, and I was one of them. I went and bought a whole bunch of movies when they were shutting down because, God, I love physical media.
yeah, man. That was a big thing, man. When they were shutting down, everybody was like,
I missed that a lot.
Yeah, what are your top fives of old school horror that you loved growing up with?
Well, when I was younger, I definitely hit the genre running with, like, the slashers. So my first horror movie was, like, Halloween. Michael Myers, I think, to this day is still, like, just this haunting... I'm naturally a very paranoid person, and just a killer, like on the loose, doesn't have to do much else than just like stand across the street and look at me, and I can do the rest as far as stressing myself out. And there's something about the stillness of Michael Myers that to this day still, like, I think is just, you can't replicate it. It's just perfect. It's like pure.
Yeah, I kind of like it because it's like, it's a slasher, right? And slashers are, kind of based in, like, a slasher could happen. You can go to Walmart and buy a butcher knife and kill somebody.
shit.
But the
In
fact
Walmart,
that he
huh?
was so evil brings like a paranormal type scared. Like, you get scared like it's a ghost or something, but it's a real man,
And he didn't say shit.
That's the other thing is the more you learned about him as a kid, the more possible it seemed.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
wait a minute, that could really happen.
Yeah, that's
you know?
happening. You know what I'm saying? Like, shit. Then he didn't talk. It's like you don't know what he's saying, when he coming. He not saying nobody's name. Shit.
So you directed with David and produced Antrum.
Yeah, we co-directed, co-produced. David wrote the first script, and then I came in and added some of my jazz to it, and then I edited it myself too, with input from David, of course. It was, I don't know if he told you, but I don't know whether I should be proud or like embarrassed of this, but 3 people were behind the camera of Antrum at all times. That's it, 3 people.
It's awesome though, dude. I think y'all pulled it off, like, because there was a lot of things we were talking about, and David was like, "Oh, that was Michael. Y'all need to call him and talk to him." Like, what parts of So, like you said, you're jazz. What was your kind of influence on the movie? What were little Michael things that you put in there?
Well, I think that probably the creepiest touches of the movie kind of came out of my imagination. The concept came from David. He wrote the core of the plot. Like, when I came in there, I just kind of got possessed with like certain scenes here and there, and even like, let me give you an example. The scene where Aurelie, the sister, is first showing Nathan the protection prayer.
Yeah.
She like first recites it to him and gets him to repeat it a bunch of times.
Yeah.
Yes, and then her voice goes to like, "Roar."
Yeah, well, that scene, as written in the script, was literally only like 4 sentences. And on that particular day on set, I was directing that scene. David actually had to leave set to go get something, like an asset we needed later. So it was just me and the cinematographer, Max. And something came over us that day and turned that scene into like what it is now. And I had the actress Nicole stand there and just start yelling the prayer, and it freaked me out so much that while she was like yelling the prayer and it was echoing in the forest around us, I had absentmindedly like dropped the light bounce down, and I noticed in the camera feed that when I moved my light bounce down, her key light, she just fell totally into silhouette as I was like listening to her read the prayer, and it. Just looking at it in the camera, it freaked me out. She goes all dark in the scene.
Yeah,
Oh shit.
That was just a total
that was fucking awesome.
Discovery.
But now that I know that you liked Halloween, I was telling Dave that too, that I could feel like the Halloween-ish Woody vibe when the way it was set up, because it looked like it was an old like 70s movie, man. The whole backdrop of it was dope.
You said
I absolutely loved that time of movies, and like we even turned to non-horror movies as inspiration when we were like shot listing this movie. We watched things like 5 Easy Pieces and Deliverance, and One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, just because there's a different way that those movies were made compared to how people do things now, and we wanted to tap into that.
Yeah, I love the how y'all used, like, what it talks about in the documentary part of the beginning, like the 35 millimeter stock, and the like the old school like graininess of it, and then to me too, the music was like it just kind of put it all together, like. And then, like, the little glitches in the
camera and everything,
and the glitches in the film, and then it comes back in the end, and like goes back into the documentary, and it said like, this satanic symbol was used 200 something time or whatever. I loved that, man. Was that you? Was that whose idea was that?
That was we had cut a version of Antrum that's a little bit different than the ones you guys have seen, and we were looking for ways of spicing, like just as much as we could, make this thing as creepy as possible. And in one of our brainstorming sessions when we were re-editing the movie, I came up with the idea that what if we could kind of like introduce sort of a Manchurian Candidate aspect to the movie where we can make people think they might have been reprogrammed, but only let them know that before afterwards, so that it's too late for them to they're like, oh shit, I've just been reprogrammed.
Yeah.
That like lacing the sigil of Astaroth for the movie and only letting the audience know about that after the movie was something I believe I came up with that in post. Although with David and I, it's like we have kind of a hive mind sometimes, so it's hard for me to always remember. But scenes like the snuff film that's spliced into it, that was me. I filmed that in my hometown here, and we added that into the movie.
Awesome.
That was a terrible shoot. It was a brutal shoot because the only location I could get was this abandoned building, and it had no heat, and I had to ask these two actors to just sort of be half naked, and we were all freezing, and we shot it in like 35 minutes just to get in and out of there as fast as possible.
Damn.
The scene in the middle of the movie where the demon, the movie kind of breaks and your eyes adjust and you kind of see the demon looking back at you. That's within the movie. That was something I came up with too.
Oh, no doubt.
Yeah.
That's what I think David was kind of piggyback on too, man. Like they he said like you were definitely the old school, the horror guy like us, and I really appreciated those parts of the movie, man, because it's like that's what gives it that
creepy,
yeah, and that when that demon thing's looking at you like from out of nowhere. What was fucking awesome. How did you shoot that? Like, was that a person in a costume, or was that like a animated? How did that? Because it looked awesome.
Yeah, well, the inspiration, I think I can trace the inspiration for that moment back to, like, I don't know if you guys remember when we were all a little younger and they had that board game called Nightmares.
Shit, no, I don't remember.
Well, Nightmares was like this video. It was a board game tied in with a VHS. And in order to play the board game, you had to put a VHS in the machine and play it alongside the game. And the VHS, they had 8 different versions of this game, but the VHS that you put in was always this like creepy monster who would just be kind of like your host, staring back at you throughout the whole game, and he would insult you if things were going a certain way or just to provoke you. And it was kind of like I remember and just being like upset by this like demon just lording over this board game the entire time, and so those demons of course look nothing like the one we put in Antrum, but I think that might have been where in my subconscious the idea for that came from. And how we shot it was we did a bunch of experimental stuff with demonic imagery. We even attempted to do something a little bit crazy where we set up 2 cameras at the right angles, side by side to each other, where how people shoot 3D cinema. There's I think it's like a one camera dead on and the other camera like a 45-degree off angle, and they're both side by side, and you're able to shoot 3D images that way. We attempted to do that with this. That didn't quite work out. That didn't make it into the movie, but this particular demon was actually David. That's actually David in like monster movie. And we shot him. We just shot him in an apartment in downtown Toronto when he was here. And I wish I had a funnier story to tell you about that particular moment. But it was really that simple and that bare bones. And that's kind of what I love about horror movie making, because sometimes the best things are just that simple, that bare. Especially in the old movies, we all love. Is that the
same with the like the characters that were in the trees in the later part of the movie? like I think they was crawling the trees. There was several of them that look like little demons.
They're like black-bodied demons. Yeah. So you guys, I'm so happy you guys like this movie because there's been a bit of a controversy.
That's a good
we
thing.
like controversy.
Yeah, that's what I was talking with David about, man. That's what you you want someone to either love it or fucking hate it, and have a controversy about it, and at least they'll be talking about it, because that means you definitely got people's attention, man.
Yeah, either way they watched it. That's what matters,
Yeah, we fucking loved it. I just thought it was so clever how y'all, y'all had the idea that it's the movie that kills you, and then at the end of the movie, instead of just ending it, y'all go back into the documentary, and then you keep going and saying like, well, this satanic imagery was used this amount of times, and basically you're telling the audience, oh shit, you can walk out of here and get fucking killed in about an hour. It could happen 2 weeks down the road.
Know, right?
It's because you watched this fucking movie. I love that shit, man.
And he told us what y'all did with the filming and how y'all gave people popcorn in the movie theater.
Totally.
And then in come the dude with the LSD on the popcorn, so everybody kind of looked at their popcorn like, what the fuck? Oh shit!
Yeah, I love that.
Was this your first movie that you've worked on?
Not my first movie ever, but my first feature. Yeah, my first feature that I ever produced, directed, or had a part in writing or and even editing. It was my first feature all around. I had worked in kind of commercial work as kind of like for a living thing for a little while, and then prior to that, I had done like a bunch of short films and a web series.
And you said you edited this whole thing?
Yeah, off like 2 different laptops.
Yeah,
this movie ended up
editors
killing one laptop, and then I had to get another one.
Yeah, editors are the unsung heroes of movies. It's kind of ridiculous. So I had a question. The old school graininess in the film where it has that type of feel to it. Is that an editing process or is that a cinematography type of thing?
It's a little bit of both, actually. It had to be like a perfect marriage of both because there's only so much you can do to a movie's image in post before you kind of start tearing the image apart and it's no longer like even watchable.
Yeah, it has
so
to
we
be
had to
shot.
set ourselves up with the right foundation before we could go in and lay in a lot of those like special effects like film grain and scratches and cigarette burns. When it came down to we were working on that look as early as when we were deciding what camera to shoot this movie on. We knew we had to shoot digital because, again, this was a 3-person crew, and we shot this thing way out in the middle of nowhere in LA, and so we didn't really want to risk ruining film because, or even potentially dropping film in the hazardous nature that we were in for 2 months.
And it's
so we knew.
It's crazy expensive too.
Yeah, especially in post, and there's not a lot of places that deal with film anymore. So we knew we had to go digital, and then it was just a question of what camera to use. And I did a bunch of research to find a camera that would give us the flattest, sort of closest to 16 millimeter type look that we can go for, because a lot of digital cameras shoot really oversaturated, high contrast, and we needed to get away from that as much as possible up front so that it just made post easier.
Oh, it was 16.
So
it was 16 millimeter, not 35.
Well, no, I meant as far as the look of the picture that we knew we needed out of a camera, we wanted it to be sort of as close to 16 millimeter as possible, which usually is a little undersaturated and a little flatter of an image as far as contrast. And we found a camera that did that for us. We just had to look carefully. And then in post, it was up to me to just find, I found libraries and libraries and libraries of old school film effects. And it took a long time. But we color graded the movie and laid in all those effects over a very long time.
So it seemed like the new technology and shit was like a hindrance. It's got to go away from it and find something that doesn't shoot as sharp and shit like that, just to get a warm feel, right?
Yeah, you're right. It was a bit of an obstacle. Like we had to like if I just picked a random, I don't know, Canon, hero camera off the shelf, there are ways to even manipulate the color settings on that camera to give you the look you're going for, but I just wanted to make it as simple as we could, where we wouldn't have to get into the BIOS of the camera to hack it to give us the image we wanted. We just wanted a camera that would naturally do it.
Yeah, and it seems more complicated you get at the beginning. Those complications just kind of snowball as far as when it comes to editing and stuff like that, and digital formats and information and data and all that shit. It just becomes a big ass shit show at the end.
Yeah, and as prepared as I thought I was for all of this the weight of the responsibility pretty much of post-production of Antrum, it still was crazy. And I learned a lot as far as management of, all that hard drive space that the film takes and the organization of all the special effects. And man, I could go on for hours about that, but that would be a very boring podcast.
I just think, man, I can't wait to see what you guys come up with next. Because if this was your first one, dude,
I know y'all about to have something.
I gotta say thanks, man. Thanks for being a real OG whorehead and making stuff for us. We appreciated it. I love the indie horror is the shit. You know what I mean? You don't have the budgets, you don't have the money for the movie, you don't have resources, whatever, and you just got to be creative and the what you do for it to be dope. And y'all made it really awesome. Yeah. I really appreciate
the whole vibes of it, man. To make it when I'm watching it, I didn't think it was just recently filmed in 2000. That's so dope. I know that shit is hard to do, like you were saying.
Wow, well, thanks, guys. You're I haven't actually ever been thanked for making Antrum to date, so this is my first. I love it.
Shit.
I at the premiere of Antrum, I was actually yelled at by an audience member, so this has been a journey.
Oh, that's fucking awesome. Who yelled? What'd they say?
Well, I was wondering if David had got into the story with you, but I'm happy he didn't then. It's going to be a great story. At our premiere, we premiered in Brooklyn at the Brooklyn Horror Film Festival, which the director of that film festival, Matt Barone, he basically saved Antrum because we were submitting to lots of film festivals and it wasn't quite a right fit for a lot of places. And he's the one who finally said, you know what, fuck it. This movie has something special in it, he thought, and he put it out there. And so David and I, getting ready for the film festival, we were really hyped up about it. And we thought, since we made the kind of movie that we made, this provocative, old school sort of dare of a movie, we thought it would be kind of cowardly for us to not take that all the way. So we decided to handle the premiere, the Q&A after the premiere, totally in character. So we never once said that we made Antrum. We handled it like we were just the documentarians who were re-releasing Antrum.
That's fucking awesome, dude.
Yeah.
And we spent the night before the premiere, we were up all night and we were going over every possible question we thought we could be asked by an audience member, just rehearsing and we ended up getting really freaked out because anytime our role playing got a little too crazy, we just started imagining scenarios where someone would start yelling at us for some reason, we would be like, oh, that's never going to happen. So we never really went down that road in any of our rehearsals. Cool. And cut to the night of the premiere, Dave and I get up there, and we forgot that we didn't tell the director of the film festival, Matt Barone, that we were going to do this Q&A in character. So we didn't realize he was going to be the host of the Q&A either. So he got up, and one of the first questions he asked us was, so you guys, there's this shot in the middle of the movie where the kids are standing on this hilltop and there's this devil face that fades in and behind them really subtly. He goes, I love that shot. How did you guys come up with that shot? And up until this point, David and I had been very dodgy with our answers, and we could tell the audience was like, are they really trying to pretend that they didn't make Antrum? And now we were actually, we could feel it, the tension in the air, and now we were asked a very direct question about whether we made Antrum, and David got handed the microphone, and so he was forced to have to clarify for everybody, I just want to make sure everybody understands that we did not make Antrum. And when he said that, you could see this ripple effect of like, I don't know what it was, but like shock and disgust go through the entire audience. And then David just, he witnessed this like shockwave, and he just hands me the microphone like, here, you take it. And before I even had a chance to say anything, an audience member stood up and said, oh, when are you guys going to stop bullshitting us?
Oh, shit.
And I froze because, like, this was the moment in all of our role plays where we thought, this would never happen. We're never going to be yelled at. So I didn't know how to handle it. And I stood there and I confronted the man. I said, look, I hope someday everybody in this room gets a chance to revisit Antrum, because there's a lot of stuff in the subtext of Antrum that is really intelligent. You know, we did not make Antrum for stupid people. You know, we made Antrum will reward a smart audience. And the subtext of what I was saying was sort of like, hey, we know that you know that we didn't make this movie, but we're trying to do something here and we want to have a little fun. This is kind of what I was saying.
Yeah, like,
and
Kind of relaxed.
it's like, why is he pissed off? Like,
Yeah.
you know, it's fun. Let's have fun. Join us with the gimmick. And, you know, like, instead of getting pissed off, it's like, man, I would have loved that, dude. I think that...
Oh, shit. That's when we would have came in and started kicking some ass.
we would have came through and be like, shut the fuck up! But the...
well, that's exactly what happened. You know, like, I said my little, my kind of peacekeeping words about it, but then something came over me, and in wrapping up my peacekeeping monologue, I looked at the guy who stood up right in the eyes, and I told him to just lighten up and let's have a little fun. And the audience totally relaxed at that moment, and they all started clapping, and this guy was so embarrassed by the reaction that he ran out of the movie theater.
Oh, shit.
And I found out later
What a pussy.
that I wouldn't. Yeah, maybe you can call him that. I won't call him that. I'll just call him embarrassed for diplomacy. But I found out later that he was actually invited. This man that did this was invited to be there by Matt Barone, the director. He was from a major horror publication, and he was there to do an interview and a profile about the movie with us afterwards. But that never happened.
Oh, that's fucking crazy.
Yeah, that's dope because
if you think about it, bro, that's a perfect way to kick off your movie.
Yeah, man.
Controversy.
Perfect, dude. That's the Spirit of Guts podcast, man. We're
I fucking love it, bro. That's the coolest shit.
Yeah, we're rebels, and we like
that shit.
We like to fuck shit up.
Never call us rebels.
Oh man, I love to hear that. And again, I wanted to say that I'm so happy that you guys love this movie, because from what I understand, you guys really love a certain type of horror, like A Night at the Demons. You have tattooed on your body, and we found in showing Antrum around that there's been this huge divide around the movie, because people who prefer sort of the gore-houndy type experiences really don't like this movie in general. They think it's too dry. They think it's really lame, not scary. And that's been the warring opinions on this movie, is you're either into an A24, the Witch type of movie, which people sometimes compare this movie to, and those two horror fans don't usually get along, the gorehounds and the cerebral ones. And
we normally, because that's a good point, because we totally
we actually have that
we have that argument
inside of the podcast.
Yeah, the guy that's just spoke, that's our producer, Low Key. he loves the witch in that, and me and Zeno hate it. But you know what? To me,
But I like Midsommar though.
Yeah, I like it. For us, it's really a matter of is it fucking punk rock or not? You know what I mean? And dude, anytime you got a scene where a dude's fucking a dead deer on the ground, I'm in. You know what I'm saying?
Oh shit.
That's a win-win for me.
And cooking people in the
Cooking people,
goat, in the metal goat is
cooking
like
people,
fuck yeah.
because it wasn't necessarily gory, but I like that you used.
It just brings me back to my childhood, you know.
Yeah, well, like what David said is our belief in what was going on was supposed to be a character in the movie. So we really you know, I liked it because it was different. And yeah, normally I love more of the gore and action, but I liked the mind fuck of it, if you will. So
yeah, cool. And this movie kind of just makes you a character in it in that way, doesn't it? You know, you're never in danger of being killed by Michael Myers when you watch a Halloween movie, but when you watch Antrum, that like wall kind of breaks down a little bit, and that was very much like the core of the fun of the idea for us.
Yeah, I think that's what makes the difference, in all honesty, and why I would loved it. You know, if that factor, like if I didn't actually, you know, if there's no, like you said, like if the movie would have just ended without coming back on and saying, oh shit, I could die 2 weeks later from watching this, that would have taken a lot of the fun and the thrill out of it, you know, because the whole goal is, at the end of the day, you know, we like to be scared, and you know, it's fun, and I think that's why normally when I wouldn't normally like a movie like that, but because it throws in the fact that, damn it, what if I, you know, like your mind starts to fuck with you, like, damn, what if I'm walking down the street,
what am I watching,
trying to get some whores on Bissonnette, and I get hit by a Metro bus?
Yeah, totally. And that reminds me, like, of back when, you know, I think I was in my early teens when I watched the first Final Destination for the first time, and I just remember that movie's a lot of fun still. The sequels get more and more like ludicrous, but they also get more and more fun at the same time. But the first one is the only one that kind of plays itself as like a serious thriller, and I really let myself just sort of absorb the movie when I was watching it, so much so that when I remember distinctly like getting up off the couch afterwards and having this like fear of like walking over to the VHS to eject the VHS because any number of disasters could just hit me as I'm walking across my living room, you know? That stuff's fun, you know? I love when movies can get in your head that much, and that's why we believe so much in Antrum.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Well, it definitely came across, man. We really appreciate you guys for putting out the effort and loving horror and putting out a really, really... I think this movie's going to live for a long time. And it's going to be a subject in the horror community for a minute, man. And congratulations. Thanks for the call, man. Thanks for coming on the podcast and, you know, giving us all the info and the inside scoop, bro. It means a lot to us because horror heads like us, man, we love shit like this. It's just really dope.
Shoot us some DMs of movies you probably think we haven't watched so we can check them out.
And we can't wait to see what you got coming up next, man.
Yeah, appreciate you, Mike, man.
Thanks, Mike. I appreciate it, brother.
Yeah, Michael, you're awesome, bro. Appreciate you, man.
We love
all right, thanks, guys. You have a good one.
All right, you too.
Our life.
Bye.
Bye.
You know, there's some horror goons.
I'm Zano the Busy.
Your boy ATX and Space Viking. Trying to figure shit out. This changed my life